to 1972, when Ray was a firefighter for the city of Pinole, California. And whereas Ray brought professionalism, orderliness, integrity to his department through the years in its infancy, the struggles with the general plan, the challenges of Class K buildings, and the drama of coastal development permitting. And whereas following a career of public service, Ray now plans to concentrate on family life with his wife Wanda, his sons Brad and Matt, and daughter Sarah. And whereas Ray will be missed by the entire county staff, the elected officials, and citizens, but fondly remembered for his leadership, his good humor, his baseball analogies, and if I may add, his duck hunting abilities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Mendocino recognizes Ray Hall for his years of service, expressing its appreciation for his dedication to duty and his commitment to the citizens, employees, permittees of Mendocino County. Dated this date under my hand, Jim Wattenberger, Chair.
Thank you,
So
Jim.
moved.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
It is moved and seconded for acceptance of this proclamation. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ray, I'd like to present this to you.
3 minutes or less, I promise. First, I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for the resolution. Also want to thank the 1985 Board of Supervisors, Jim Eddy, Marilyn Butcher, John Chimolino, Nelson Redding, and Norman Duvall. They took a chance on a kid, and I hope it worked out, for him well. Also want to, sort of the unsung people in the planning profession, the Planning Commission. You've got a Planning Commission that serves, does get a stipend, but frankly, it's very little. And it's specifically one person, on there that's been on the Planning Commission for 22 years, Karen Calvert. And I think she needs to be acknowledged, for that time served. Toot the department's horn here for a second, because I don't think I've done that job well enough, over the years. First is staff reports online. We've been doing that for an awful long time. Lately, we've been doing it for Coastal Permit Administrator staff reports. Those have been online. They've been available to folks. Also, a few years ago, we received a CSAC, an American Planning Association Award, for the permit place binder, where it integrated services of the permitting departments. When I first started, we were first appointed as the director. That was when we were just getting certified in the local coastal plan. Quite frankly, I thought that was also the end of my career as a planning director, because I thought once the Board of Supervisors really reads what's in that plan and what they have to do, they're going to be going after somebody, and it was going to be me. 22 years later, at least it went for 22 years. There's an awful lot of stuff in there. You'll keep reading it. You'll be surprised what we're obligated to do. Also, some innovative funding, for the general plan. It's only recently you've had to utilize general fund monies for the general plan update. We were the first and possibly the only county that's used vehicle license fees to the amount of $300,000 to fund our general plan update. We were one of the first immediately following legislation to utilize the general plan maintenance fee. Again, those kept the county from having to utilize the general fund for that purpose. We also, several years ago, established the Vehicle Abatement Authority. I think the success is in that is what you don't see. What you don't see is nearly as many abandoned vehicles out there as you would otherwise see. We typically are responsible for abating around 1,000 to 1,200 vehicles per year through that program. Also, several years ago, we took over the building inspection process for the city of Fort Bragg. All of that's been done with fewer staff today than we had in 1989. Now, you can always look back at numbers. In general, our staffing is about the same as it was back in the late 1980s, early 1990s. And I think that's a credit to the staff, that's with the county. They've taken it upon themselves to do that. They're customer service oriented, and I think they have a strong work ethic, and I hope that's recognized and acknowledged by the Board of Supervisors. Lastly, Mary Lynn Hunt said that this has to be about her, so I'll make it about her. And honestly, it's something that occurred just prior to my being the director, but it's something I think that will be the legacy. That is that, and most people aren't familiar with it, but that's the merger and unmerger provisions of state law. The Board of Supervisors had the foresight to go through and get legislation to merge lands that were in Williamson Act and TPZ. We were one of the few counties, maybe the only county, we sponsored that legislation, and we sent out to over 2,000 notices, and Mary Lynn was responsible for sending out the notices. So we now have maintained in larger parcel sizes, the 40 and the 160 acres, all lands that are in timber production zone and all lands that are in Williamson Act. So when you hear about other counties and they're losing their agricultural lands, it's because primarily or in great part because of a merger, and we had that foresight to do